piece of me. Get ready. I'm ready. I don't care who you are. So you're the man that rules the world. They call me.
Yes, y'all.
Here we go.
Good evening. It is the Thursday evening overdose.
Thursday.
February 19th, 2015. Thank you very much for being with us. Once again, we are without the Earthling, and it's just me and Andrea here. We're going to put the show together on the spot like we do every Thursday. No plan, no research, no whatever. This is the...
nothing.
This is the raw deal, buddy. So how are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm sick again, somehow. I feel like I was just sick.
You're one of those people that's just always sick.
I get sick for like the whole winter.
It's bullshit.
Yeah, it's total bullshit.
It's all in your head.
In my head.
Yeah, don't you think that ever?
Yeah, I sometimes do, but then I try to think it away and it doesn't work.
Well, you can't think it away after you've already got it.
Yeah.
You've got to think positive from the start in order to not get it in the first place.
Right.
That's the way that works.
I don't like to be sick.
Well, who does?
Oh, jerks.
Jerks are always sick.
Yeah.
I walk around a little bit too much on edge. That's my health problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done things like, I don't know, not that long ago, a few months back, I was in a parking lot. You know you're like way too on edge when you like aggressively confront an old lady as though she's like a frat guy, you know, like he like spilled a beer on you on purpose, you know, and you've got to like stand up to like this old lady. I was pulling, you know, I was trying to turn into a lane in a parking lot. And I'm trying to turn left into a lane, and she's trying to pull out of that same lane. I had my signal on. I'm going in there. And she starts pulling out as I'm pulling in. You picture that? So she's like in position to T-bone me, you know. And it doesn't happen. We both, you know, she stops, and she throws up her hands like I did something fucked up. So I rolled down my window. So I stopped in front of her so she couldn't go anywhere. And I just rolled down my window and gave her the finger. But I gave it to her in that way of where you don't give a fuck who sees or what anyone thinks of you. Yeah, I just left it there for like 6 seconds, you know, and slowly mouthed, "Fuck you, cunt." And she gave me this look. She gave me a really appropriate look for what I was doing.
Yeah.
She gave me this look that her look summed up like an entire paragraph of thought all at once. It was like, why would you do that to me? I'm an old lady. Like, even though I might be wrong in this situation, you're acting extremely aggressive for her look just said all of this to me. And I was like, I immediately was like, yeah, all right. And I just went on. But I gave it, you know, I realized I'm like, I'm not fit for society. I'm out here just bubbling with fucking rage, you know, ready to beat up old women, I guess.
Yeah, well, okay, now when you say old, how old do you mean?
Well, she was 60.
60, okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, she wasn't like
frail.
No. But she was old enough.
Spry enough to still drive herself around.
She's old enough to be annoying. Though.
Right, yeah.
Like, you're
right in the sweet spot.
Old. You don't know what things are like anymore. No one cares about what you think. Get the hell out of my parking lot. Old women. God, is there anything worse than an old lady? It's just the worst.
Old men are the only thing worse than old ladies, I think.
I don't
think
so.
But they go 50-50. Sometimes you get a real nice old man.
No, because like old men,
the worst.
old men are funny. Sometimes they drink. You know, They smoke. They tell racist jokes real quiet. Like, an old lady can be racist, but she'll be racist in the way that she's, like, is really, truly unaware that things have changed, you know?
Right.
And she's just, like, country club racist. You know, like, old men will be, like, scotch and pull you aside for a quick racist one, you know? That's,
Right.
I take old men over old ladies anytime. And that's not the first time I've been in altercations with old ladies in public. I had another time that we were doing a show in a small town and with a band, and we pull in, got the van, you know, and we're in this little awkward situation where we've got to pull through this little turnaround area, and there's all these people sitting there waiting to pick people up from a train, and this lady is parked unnecessarily out in the middle of this lane. So we kind of honked the horn a couple times, like, hey, would you know, scoot over? She doesn't do anything. Somebody gets out of the van and walks up and says, hey, would you mind moving over? And she goes, you've got plenty of room. I don't need to. I'm like, dude, you've got room. Move over.
Yeah.
And it evolves into, or degrades, however you look at it, into there were varying degrees of participation in this, but there were 4 of us there. At least 2 of us full on railing this this woman, just, you old fucking cunt piece of shit, just screaming at her and stuff. Everything we could fucking think of to say, we're saying it to this piece of shit lady. And this cab driver comes up as we're she's out of her car screaming, we're screaming at her, and this cab driver comes up, and I don't know what he was. I'm just gonna admit right now, I never bothered to learn the differences in, like, who people are from the Middle East, which is who's who. Whatever. Okay, I'm an asshole.
Someone.
I don't
from
know.
there.
He was maybe a Pakistani. I don't know.
Yeah. Sure.
And whatever. I don't know what he was, but he's one of those, you know, one of those Middle Easterner kind of guys.
Right.
And he or some part of Asia maybe. And he comes up and he goes. Did you guys try to get the van through ever? You know, we're like, well, no, it's not enough room. She is being a cunt, you know, and he's like, well, maybe you just try to get the van through real quick, and then we'll just see what you need to get her to move. Because, like, it's like, maybe you just try instead of standing here in the middle of the street screaming at each other. That's exactly what he said. And that was his exact words. Instead of standing in the middle of the street screaming at each other.
Just
we're
maybe.
Like, how do you argue with that? Fine.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting through there just fine. It turns out there was plenty of room. We just didn't think there was.
You just wanted to bully an old lady.
Yeah. But no, I mean, that's how fucking old ladies are. And I know it's changing because now there's going to be new old ladies soon. You know what I mean? But old ladies, like, from when we were kids,
yeah,
they're horrible.
They're curmudgeon-y.
They're fucking awful.
Yeah.
There's only a few left. They're like 90 now, you know, but, like, they were just fucking terrible. I'm kind of glad they're dead. The men of that generation were, like, the tough World War II guys and stuff, and you could kind of get down with them. They're like, all right, you know. The fucking women are just these spoiled housewife ninnies, you know, just all of them, just good little Christian housewives, don't ask, don't tell, la 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 la, you know, just fucking cunts. Old ladies. Blah.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse. Is there?
There's nothing worse than an old lady.
The old ladies like I'm talking about.
Right,
now,
yeah.
new old ladies, they'll be getting better.
Yeah.
But those World War II generation ladies, I don't know, man. I was not into them.
No, they were, like, grew up just completely spoiled for 80 years.
A lot of them were not spoiled. They just I don't know what it is. They had this, like, they were uppity about that their view and their thing, you know what I mean? Like, all of them are just very, like, very fucking set in their way in a very irritating fashion, you know, like our grandma and all of her friends, they were all just like complete scumbag, racist, like leave $2 tips at restaurants kind of fucking cunts, you know what I mean? Just Christ. I mean, that's how a lot of that generation was, just condescending, mean,
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't say they were spoiled. I mean, a lot of them grew up in the Dust Bowl, or were born there, whatever.
So where do you think their sense of entitlement comes from?
Born then. I don't think the Dust Bowl. Just to clarify, I don't think the Dust Bowl is a place.
Let's go there.
Yeah, nobody would go there.
No.
They would have to name it something else.
Sounds terrible.
They'd have to do like one of those Viking tricks like they did with Greenland,
Yeah.
They'd have to name it like,
Ocean Springs.
Yeah, Ocean Springs or something. I mean, you kind of just twist it a little bit. You call it like Dust Valley,
Yeah.
You don't call it the Bowl of Dust. But
yeah, I wouldn't go there.
Old women that grew up in the Dust Bowl, man, they paid their dues, but I feel like they could have just lightened up at some point.
Yeah.
And now they're all dead. They'll never get the chance.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the new old people should be better, I think.
Do you think? Why?
Yeah, because, well, now you got old people that are somewhat, because we're talking, now this generation that we had, you're talking such an amazing leap. You're talking people that grew up like, when cars were new, and, a lot of people didn't even have radios compared to us who were born with, newfangled VHS cassette tapes and things like that. But now you're talking about 70-year-olds pretty soon. They grew up with TV. They're in the modern era. They had rock. They listen to something sort of resembling modern music, at least. You know what I mean? So it's something that wasn't just completely lame, something that just I remember fucking stupid old ladies. My grandma and her dumb fucking friends would be at jazz band concerts when we were kids. We had the jazz band at school. They'd always complain, drums are supposed to be in the background. They should just be lightly peppering the rhythm. You're not supposed to hear driving rhythm from the drum. I hated drums.
The hell kind of complaint is that?
Stupid old cunt. I don't know. I remember sitting there and just being mad. Like, you guys are from 70 years ago. You have no idea. No idea what you're talking about. You think that because recordings back there were done with like one microphone, hung from a fucking fan that they didn't even bother to turn it off. Just some swinging microphone around the middle of a room with, 8 poorly paid black musicians all leaning around it,
Yeah.
That's how they made recordings back then. So you think there's not supposed to be drums, you dumb old lady. But there is.
Idiot.
They just didn't know how yet. Music would sound like it does today if anyone was able to.
Right.
There's still people making every kind of music. It just sounds better now. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons old ladies are fucked up. They always had this thing growing up too. I don't know why I have so many negative memories of old ladies, but they always had this thing growing up, like the ladies that would be around my grandmother or whoever else in our family. They would always claim that like we didn't learn things correctly in school anymore. And I'm sure that was right to a certain point, but they were fucking retards.
Yeah, they were dumb.
I mean, they were fucking retards. I know that there's a lot of lies, especially in history. Not like they would fucking know. See, they wouldn't know that stuff. They wouldn't say, oh, you're being taught the wrong history. Your country's actually a much more twisted place or something useful like that. They'd go, you're not learning math right. Oh, really? Why not? Well, because you have a calculator. Well, you stupid fucking old bag of dust. Here's a news flash for you. You can get further if you have a head start. So I don't want to go back and prove 1 + 1 = fucking 2. You did it with your stupid rock writing on a cave wall, probably. Fucking dummy. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm using a calculator. I'm doing the Pythagorean fucking theorem over here. You probably learned that in college. I'm 13. Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, eat a dick, old lady.
Yeah, and they would always have these things, all these comments, condescending comments about everything. Big thing. You don't pack your lunches? Well, no. No one has time. People are working 8 fucking jobs. I go to school at 7:30 in the goddamn morning and don't get home till 4 fucking o'clock. I'm a kid, mind you.
And
I'm
also
not packing my lunch. I'm
$3.
I'm eating fucking steamed mostaccioli and a chocolate chip cookie. because that's what my school feeds me. Like it's a prison.
Yeah.
Some fucking steamed pasta that's not even done yet, some shitty sauce.
Yeah. Canned sauce.
And a half-done cookie. That's how they feed you.
Oh, yeah. Remember the half-done cookies?
Oh, yeah. Every school had the half-done cookie.
You could hold them, and they would be so doughy they would
just
drop.
Yeah. They would just bend over.
Why didn't everyone get sick from eating those?
I'm a cookie. Because your body can withstand a lot more of that shit than people think.
Yeah.
I
do eat a lot of raw cupcake batter.
Come on, everybody fucks up at there's so many people at their house. You work in restaurants.
Yeah.
You have sanitation drilled into your head. But you see the way people cook at their houses.
Yeah.
I just grab some raw meat, root around in the silverware drawer, fucking wipe it on my pants, go over here, grab some broccoli. You know what I mean? It's like people don't they don't
put
practice.
It on the counter.
Yeah. People don't practice sanitation.
We have a drink that has raw egg in it. There's a lot of stuff that uses raw egg. Why were we always warned about raw egg?
Raw egg seems to be totally fine to eat. I've done it 100 times.
I have never had a problem with it.
I've even drank a whole raw egg.
Gross.
Because I saw somebody do it in a cartoon. That's why, okay?
It's the only good reason to do anything.
If you must know, it's because I saw someone do it in a cartoon.
Which cartoon?
It was the Beauty and the Beast movie, I think. And there was like the love interest.
Oh, Gaston.
Gaston.
He eats raw eggs?
Yeah. In his opening scene, he's like, and it's something about like, when I was young, I ate 4 dozen eggs. And then it was, now that I'm grown, I eat 5 dozen eggs. And he was like drinking them out of a pitcher. And I was like, I want to be like Gaston. when I'm older, I want to have 8-inch legs and a 79-foot torso.
Yeah.
And and
a cleft in your chin.
I want to look like I want my top half to look like Jose Canseco and my bottom half to look like a quadriplegic burn victim.
Yeah.
Please. That would be a great body.
Yeah.
That would be a great body for if Disney could draw me that. Thank you.
Yeah.
But Gaston was he was a jerk kind of, if I remember.
He was.
Did he get turned into the Beast?
No, the Beast was a good guy.
Oh, Gaston was just who they wanted.
Gaston was like the one who was like, "Oh, don't be in love with the Beast. Be in love with me instead.
Be in love with me and my tiny toothpick legs."
And Belle was like, "I just want to read books," and everyone was like, "You're a nerd. You should marry Gaston."
Yeah.
What was that? Everyone told her she was a nerd for reading books. That happened.
Well, I think that it took place in the Dark Ages, didn't it? And I think back then you were not supposed to read.
Yeah, I don't really know that much about Beauty and the Beast.
It was discouraged. They didn't want the masses to have access to knowledge.
Right. That makes sense.
No establishment class wants people to be educated.
Right.
It's just a general rule.
Why would they?
It's a general rule of thumb. Speaking of which, we could go back to the school lunches thing.
Yeah, we could talk about that a little bit.
You know a lot about the way that food affects you and your brain and your learning shit, right?
Yes.
Why, as a country, do we take the approach of feeding our students the same way we feed our prisoners? Now, that's not even getting into the conversation of why do we have so many goddamn prisoners. But I would have to say it has something to do with our education system. Probably, and possibly that our education system so closely resembles a prison and possibly even conditions the people who are in them to accept being criminals and to be institutionalized. Yeah? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I think there's a lot of using food to influence the way young minds work, to make them more malleable and susceptible to ideas, make them weak, make them bored and uninterested.
Well, because I mean, it's a really good point that they didn't feed us. There was no options in the school cafeteria that would make it easy to get through a day. There was nothing to give you energy. There was nothing. There was nothing natural.
All junk.
It was just completely junk. And I think it was that company Cisco they always used to deliver, and they do a lot of the prisons. Or
our high school was Aramark.
Or Aramark. There's the
Cisco
same,
might have been
same
middle
thing.
school.
Same shit, whatever.
Yeah, Aramark.
One of
was
those just
definitely high
big
school.
fucking food producers
Conglomerate.
that just takes the cheapest bottom of the barrel food from any fucking back alley distributor, you know.
Yeah.
And here you go. We'll take it. Yeah.
Lowest grade that they can find.
Oh, just disgusting shit. Yeah.
Everything frozen, prepackaged, processed, already made. White
Any
bread.
any terrible cheap resident institutional building, whatever. This is the kind of shit they get.
They didn't even bother to give us, like, we had kind of a nice thing where you could get a sandwich made, but the only bread they had was white bread. So you could get white bread with processed lunch meat, iceberg lettuce, but I can only assume it was fresh tomato. I don't know how they could serve anything other than that on a sandwich. But it was all shitty anyway. It like seemed nice, and it seemed like, oh, I'll put pickles on it, and that's like a vegetable.
Nah.
But it was white bread. They didn't have a whole
It's
grain
got
option
no
or anything.
no nutrients.
Yeah, sugar.
Nothing.
Sugar
Right.
and processed meat.
And
Sugar
then-
and fat.
And then stay in these small rooms, learn about things you're not interested in, and why are you fucking acting up? You know, what is with this kid? The fuck? You know, I honestly feel like I was put on the road to being a criminal by the school system.
Yeah, it like
At
prepares
first.
you to be imprisoned.
And it prepares you to accept that. It prepares you to accept being institutionalized. If you're not institutionalized properly in the educational system, chances are once you go out in the world, you'll get in some trouble.
Yeah.
That's kind of just how it works. And it's
Right.
not that you're defective. It's that you're not being assimilated.
That
you're not, you know.
rejecting the system.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it really does have to be, they really do have to feed you just total garbage in order to get you to go along with that. They have to fucking beat you down emotionally in every way from the time you're a small child. You have to be taught, hey, you're nothing without the approval of an institution. You know, combine that with the food, the whatever other kind of methods of indoctrination you can come up with. I mean, you've really just got the public school system is really just churning out either worker bee drones or criminals.
Right.
Is that what other option is there? Someone
Yeah.
who doesn't leave the house much, I guess. But you know,
Right.
there's that seems to be the fucking the goal.
Yeah, I honestly don't know a single person in my single life who it doesn't fit into either the criminal or the worker drone categories.
It's funny. You do I mean, there's obviously exceptions to everything, but if you do tend to either, like, if you know people who are off that straight and narrow path, they're at least committing some petty crimes here and there.
Right.
Like we all do. They're
Right.
smoking some weed, they're driving some drunk, they're you know, they're having their fun in one
Yeah.
way or another and living their lifestyle that's a little bit contrary to the mainstream, which usually requires breaking some kind of fucking harmless law.
Right.
You know.
That's the whole point.
So you don't think you know anybody who doesn't fit one of those two, huh?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Do you know any people who were homeschooled?
No, I don't actually. I don't know any homeschooled individuals. Do you?
I know. Well, I have. No, I don't know. Yes, actually, I do.
Okay.
I do. But they're like a rare case of extremely well adjusted people, it seems like.
Yeah.
They would never know anything was weird about them. So I don't know. Maybe that goes to show you that.
Do they fit into one of those two categories though? Are they professionals?
Yeah, I guess they are. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Homeschool people always seem so just, I'm going to throw that example out because they're kind of an exception, but most of the time when you meet somebody who was homeschooled when you were a kid, like they just
were
seemed
weird.
really fucking weird.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't know how much of that is that they just weren't part of the same hive mind as you,
Right.
you know? So I mean, or how
But they weren't weird like when you met kids from another school. You know, when you're in grade school and you like meet
yeah, but
kids
they're
from
getting
another
the same
school.
they're getting the same brainwashing as you.
Yeah, they
you
still
know?
seem weird, but they're like cut from the same fabric. Whereas
The
homeschool kids,
Shelbyville kids.
I met some homeschooled kids when I was younger. I remember there was one girl who was in my Girl Scout troop, and I remember thinking that she was weird, but I don't know how much of that was me and how much of that was people saying she's weird and how much of that was just her being like ahead of things or
Right. Like
you
she
know?
maybe doesn't have some of the same giddy, stupid hangups that you get
Yeah.
from being institutionalized, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. If you want to talk about arrested development, what can arrest your development more than institutionalizing you, you know, and basically preventing your full-time growth as a human and corralling you into like behavior that's either acceptable or unacceptable.
Right.
You know, I mean, that is really what arrests the development of this fucking country. They want to talk about video games, music and TV and whatever. It's the school system arrests your fucking development. The school system is why people are pathetic, can't think for themselves, sheepish, you know, people who let people just walk all over them and stuff because you're fucking trained to do it.
Right.
That's how you get by in life. That's how you get your A's. That's how you get your good jobs. That's how you succeed in life, is to be a little cunt. I mean, really, do you know how much talent and drive and determination you have to not be a submissive cunt and succeed in this society?
Yeah.
I mean, you really have to be a true innovator.
Yeah.
Innovator.
It's a very rare breed.
I mean, it is, and that's those people are well respected too. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, it's fucking.
It's different.
Yeah, and it's riskier. It's not easy, and it's a very, very, like you said, a very rare breed that can actually pull it off.
Yeah.
What did you send me about the school lunches?
Oh, I sent you a link for I put it on the Facebook too. It's pictures of school lunches from all over the world, comparing what they serve children in a bunch of other countries, and it points out that children in Ukraine, Estonia, and Greece are treated to delectable meals each day, while children in America are not nearly so lucky. A child in France might be treated to a juicy steak and a hunk of brie, while the richest country in the world's youths, meaning America, are more likely to receive unidentified meat served alongside little more than a starch-like white pasta, fries, or a roll.
It's fucking disgusting. Yet there's still people who believe, oh, it's just people in the system are inept. There's no deliberate fucking effort to destroy our culture, right? There's no deliberate effort to destroy our youth. Read more for a second.
Well, that's actually all there is to read, but I think it's really interesting that here's this whole gallery of pictures for people to look at, and it comes after Michelle Obama has dedicated most of her time as the First Lady to creating more healthful food and more healthful habits for our children. One person even points out on one of these pictures that has been her goal, and it looks like the picture of maybe a little bit of tuna salad and then like a tiny bit of applesauce next to it. Do you have this picture open on your computer?
Hold on, I'm pulling
and it's like
it
a carton of chocolate milk. So it's
This is supposed to be the healthy lunch.
That's supposed to be the healthy lunch option. And I think it actually shows a little screenshot of a person saying, "Thanks a lot, Michelle Obama."
Yeah, great. Well, see, the problem is,
look, it's a quarter of a orange. They don't even give them an entire orange.
Well, no, you don't need a whole orange.
But let's see. Here's...
You do need a whole thing of chocolate milk, though.
Yeah, that's sugar. It's important.
No, I mean, that's the hilarious thing about our country is even though there's some, there's the massive campaign. Our children are obese. Blah, blah, blah. Well, do you talk about the lack of nutrients in food? No, let's talk about trans fats.
Yeah.
We'll ban trans fats. The fuck is that going to do when your body is not getting what it needs to live, so it keeps telling you you're hungry when you're not? That's why 90% of this country, or 90% of the obese people in this country, I swear to God, they're obese not because of how much they eat, but it's what they fucking eat.
Right.
And it sounds simple, but most people don't understand the fact that you're not getting nutrients in your fucking food, and that's why your body is storing fat improperly, and you're not burning it when you exercise. I mean, it's a simple fucking thing when you read up on it, but here's the big health agenda: let's ban trans fats and
let's push processed foods,
control portions.
Yeah.
Now,
here's what's scary is that there has been a great deal of evidence over the past year and a half to 2 years that has linked the rise in autoimmune disease in the United States with the consumption of processed foods and refined sugar. There is correlation between that information.
Between what?
The consumption of processed foods and refined sugar correlates with the growth of autoimmune disease in the United States. So there's a lot of research that's suggesting that the rise in autoimmune disease is caused or linked to the consumption of processed foods and refined sugars. Now, I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease last year, and I cut processed foods and refined sugar out of my diet, and my symptoms went away immediately.
And got you right on track.
Right on track. Completely back to normal.
But,
not to mention, I felt better. I slept better. But here's what's confusing.
Now, how many doctors had told you, like, no, you just need this this pill or that pill?
I saw one doctor. She told me to have surgery.
Doctors have no clue about nutrition.
Yeah.
They don't fucking know.
I saw one doctor, and she told me to have surgery. She gave me antibiotics to get, like, my symptoms maintainable.
Right.
And then she told me to go to a dermatologist and have surgery done.
Sure.
Because I was like on my skin.
Well, doctors are complete psychos. They just want to cut you somehow, poke you, prod you, whatever.
Right. So
fucking crazies.
One Google search led me to this immuno diet that I started eating, and my symptoms went away and never came back.
Right.
Or if they did, they came back very, very mildly, and I knew it was because I ate something that I shouldn't have.
So there you go. And that's something you could have gone to 100 fucking doctors wouldn't have told you.
Yeah. Do you know, I actually went to a number of doctors before it was diagnosed the proper way. I saw, I don't know, 4 or 5 different doctors at least 4 different doctors' offices that misdiagnosed my symptoms as other things.
And that's extremely common if you have anything outside of the run-of-the-mill basic shit that they see all the time.
Right.
You got to get lucky to find a doctor who's really on the ball and might give a shit
and
about
I lucked
figuring
out
out your thing, you know.
I got diagnosed by an emergency room doctor. If I had gone at a different time or on a different day, they may have missed the diagnosis and I might still be suffering, you know?
That's the thing. You want to trust doctors and shit like that and think, hey, these guys are going to know what they're doing. But really, it's kind of just it's just spinning a roulette wheel, you know. It's whoever might be there that day might give a fuck, might know what they're doing, might not, you know, might be tired, might not, you know what I mean? Your life hangs in the balance there. It's better. The other thing doctors will tell you, never research your own your own conditions. Hey, fuck you. You're not gonna fucking do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna come in with some cocky facial expression, act like I have no insight into my own health, and then try to shove a pill down my throat. You know, whatever. Yeah, there's exceptions, but shit. 90% of stuff people go to doctors for, they could probably deal with on their own with some methods that have been around for thousands of years.
Right.
You know?
I went to a doctor one time after I was diagnosed, and she asked me if I had any weird medical conditions, and I told her about that. And she was like, I don't know what that is. So I started describing the symptoms, and she was like, I've never heard of that. And then she got on the computer and Googled it while I was sitting there right in front of her. And then she wants to start telling me ways to treat it. I was like, you don't think I've Googled it? Really?
I can
You
do
don't think
that.
I've done that?
Yeah.
Like, give me my $100 back.
Fucking dumb moron doctors.
And I wasn't even there to see her about that either. I had like a chest cold or something. But yeah, it's scary. It's scary that so many people would have gone to the dermatologist, had the surgery, which, by the way, do nothing to cure the cause and only treat the symptoms. And those people would just take the other route is to take antibiotics forever. To just take a dose of antibiotics for like 6 months on, 6 months off, 6 months on, 6 months off. Like, that's going to be good for anybody and anything.
Right. No, that's good. Just let's just have a permanent medication for a solution.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, who cares about the cause? Let's just treat the symptom.
Well, going back to stupid old ladies. Oh, that's what always ends up happening to them. You go to some stupid old lady's house. What does she have? 65 different fucking pills. Half of them are to deal with symptoms from the other pills.
Right.
Doctors don't think that's crazy.
No.
You know? That's not. But none of you. If you ask people that are in and out of doctors and hospitals, and we've known a few and stuff, and hey, did your doctor say anything about vitamins while you're getting better from your infection? Did they tell you anything about getting vitamins, getting the proper diet, and and XYZ? No, I'm just supposed to take this antibiotic and clean my wound out once a day, and then that's what they told me. Like, well, they don't. They don't. I've never heard of a doctor telling anyone. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure that they are. I'm sure that people have a good doctor here and there, but I've never heard of a doctor telling anyone to take vitamins.
No, me neither.
Have you?
No, nothing springs to mind.
I know I just said have you after you said you hadn't. But, I was planning on saying it before, and it just stuck on the edge of my This is stuck on my teeth on the way out, and then fell out awkwardly right after you were done.
I considered changing my answer after that.
Yeah. Yes,
oh,
I have.
I must have said the wrong thing.
No, but you haven't, right? There's not.
No. And you know what? One time, for the first time ever, probably about 2 years ago, I heard of a doctor who, David Box had the brain thing that was weirding him out, and it turned out his metabolism is just too fast, so he has to eat more often. But that was the first time ever I've heard of a doctor say, try changing your food and see if that helps. And it's literally just that his metabolism is so fast.
They will do that for certain things, but they won't tell you, like, for basic stuff, like I said, an infection, or hey, I'm having this basic problem, that basic problem. They won't tell you, all right, look, get 20 minutes of exercise every day. Make sure you eat this. Don't eat processed foods. Don't eat high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
Don't eat this, and then you know what I mean. They'd much rather, like you said, here, take this salve.
Yeah.
You know,
I had a doctor one time. I went to the health clinic. It was before I had been properly diagnosed with my skin thing. And it's basically like a skin infection. So she had given me a round of antibiotics to do. And I did a follow-up appointment. And my symptoms hadn't gone away, even though I was almost done with the antibiotics. And then at the follow-up appointment, after I had already taken an entire round of antibiotics, she said, oh, are you eating a lot of sugar? Because sometimes sugar can help infections grow. And I was like, why didn't you tell me that when I was here a week ago and you were treating me?
Right.
Like, why did you wait for me to take all the medicine and now I have to take more medicine?
That's another basic one that they'll know. But yeah, still in general, your doctor's not going to tell you, hey, take vitamins, get exercise, make sure you get a good diet and stuff. There's doctors out there that will say, oh, it's okay to have fast food once or twice a week. You know, like
Ew.
there's all kinds of doctors out there. There's you never know what you're going to fucking get. And as far as I know, that you don't really get to review them on Google Maps either or anything, do you?
Yeah, I'm sure
Maybe
that
you
there
do,
are Yelp
actually.
pages
Yeah,
for
you probably
doctors. But
yeah, whatever. I don't deal with them anymore.
no.
Fix my own shit.
I only go to a doctor when I need a doctor's note to not go to work. That's literally the only time I go to a doctor.
The emergency room, see, it's funny. When you do, it's like as anti, you know, the industry of medicine. As anti, what do you fucking call it? Anti-pharmaceutical, big medicine, whatever. What do you call
pharma?
it? I mean,
I think they're big pharma.
Like, I'm talking about the general hypocrisy of like doctors and pharmaceuticals and this whole fucking
whole like medical community and
yeah, just the whatever. But man, when you've got a really bad emergency and you think you might die, you can't get to that fucking emergency room fast enough. You know, it's like, am I gonna go to my Wiccan friend who knows holistic? Nah.
yeah.
I'm probably heading into that emergency room.
Yeah, the last time I got sick and I did think that I might die. And I had been on the phone with my mom, and she convinced me that even though we hate Western medicine, sometimes they do the right thing.
The emergency stuff especially.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. But I was
somebody,
like, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Well, no, whatever. Somebody's calling us in. I don't know who this is. Hello?
Hey, what's happening, Vinny? It's Arnie.
Ernie?
Arnie. Yeah, man. How you doing?
Arnie?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Hi, Arnie.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Arnie. How are you? Where are you from?
Oh, Westmont.
Westmont. Oh, Arnie. Okay. Arnie from
that Arnie.
Arnie
Yeah,
from Westmont. What's up, man?
Not much. Hey, just hanging out. I was talking to you on Facebook there a little bit.
Oh, that's who it is. Okay. Now,
That's it.
so what did you want to talk about?
I don't know. You told me to call in, so I'm calling in.
Oh, okay. I kind of meant we're talking about the hypocrisy of the medical industry and things like that. But so you weren't listening to the show, huh?
Well, I normally listen to Sunday Evening Overdose.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, past 4 or 5 shows to you. Nice program, man. I like it.
Thank
Really
you very
enjoy
much.
it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This is our Thursday show where we don't do any research. We just kind of just fling it off the top of our heads and see what happens. So you commented that 9/11 was a farce. We could go there for a minute, right?
For a second, I thought you were going to say
Oh,
it was
yeah,
a fart.
I can go there. It's it just seems that well, number one, the pilots that they said crashed these aircraft into these various buildings.
Yeah.
These pilots were trained at like little schools flying Cessnas, and they were so bad that not one of them could even rate high enough to rent like a Cessna little single-engine prop plane.
Right.
Let alone, fly a highly technical 757 or 767, making impossible maneuvers that even professional pilots with thousands of hours of experience in an aircraft can't pull off in a simulator.
Yeah.
I also think it's pretty strange that probably the second most secure building next to the White House in the world, which is the Pentagon, only has a couple of frames of pretty inconsequential video that they've released. I think it's pretty amazing that if they really wanted the people to know exactly what happened, that it was an aircraft that flew into the building, into the Pentagon, but they'd want to release as much video as possible, but yet we only have a few frames. There are thousands of cameras on that property,
Sure, yeah. Those are both classic examples of things that are not really explained, well by the mainstream story at all. The Pentagon one was also made more tantalizing by the fact that they confiscated the footage from like the gas station and the hotel across the street and shit like that. There was other security.
There were dozens of properties that within hours, the FBI, NSA, all of them were over there, CIA collecting every bit of video evidence that they thought could even, give any problem to their story, which I think their story is bullshit, to be honest with you.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, I've thought for years, I've kind of gone for a lot of years back and forth through a varying range of what I thought might have happened, and even at some point thought, well, the official story is probably close to true, and then more, as years went on, I really didn't believe that anymore at all, and there's just too much weird stuff. But I will say that to this day, nobody has come out with a simple explanation. Here's what happened. Here were the players, X, Y, Z. So far, everyone's explanation has 6 steps of Kevin Bacon in it, which just, you know what I mean? There's, well, Larry Silverstein was supposed to be there, and who's that? Well, he was, and it's like this long chain of things. You're always like, all right, nobody has the thing nailed down to say, okay, here's who did it, here's exactly why. Now, a lot of people had motives to be at war in the Middle East, but that's true of every war since the dawn of mankind, or civilization at least, since the dawn of people sending other people to war. We've been going to war for the elite, for purposes that happen behind the scenes. So, I mean, I don't know exactly what happened. Of course, there's a lot of people that have motive to be there, and of course, a lot of people made a lot of money off of these wars. What were you dying to say over there?
I was just going to say, I think one of the most important things to talk about now is World Trade Center 7, because there are still people in the world who don't know that Tower 7 collapsed.
Yeah.
Which collapsed for no reason.
No, it was hit by a giant piece of one of the other buildings.
And Vinny, it was on fire. However, I'd like to bring this up about the other 2 towers that fell as well. And if you remember, there was never. How do you have 2 buildings that were designed to have aircraft bigger than those that actually hit them? These buildings were designed to withstand that. They were designed to withstand minor earthquakes, but more like hurricane force winds. They've talked to the engineers that designed them, and all of them agreed that this aircraft, there have been buildings that have burned for 24, 30 hours and not collapsed from the heat.
Sure, no building has ever collapsed from an airplane crash. Yeah,
is that they splashed those buildings in their own footprint, and how the hell do you do that 2 times in a row? And blame it on the same failure of engineering. which is that the trusses failed and the then the outer walls collapsed. Well, these buildings were built on a solid core of steel. I mean, they weren't going anywhere. And if you notice, when they first start falling, you see puffs of smoke several stories down on these towers as they were coming down, and it's as though charges were planted there to weaken them, so they fell just so.
Sure, and that's another thing I've gone back and forth on in my thinking, because now, I don't know, certain people will claim, well, they closed the building for renovations in the weeks before that, or they shut down floor by floor for some kind of exterminator or some shit. Remember, you've heard all this stuff.
They did it for years, yeah.
So, well, I don't know. I don't know. The conventional explanation is, hey, as the thing was collapsing, there was air pockets and they were busting out windows. Is basically what the mainstream explanation of that is, right? So then I don't know if I'm, that's another one of those things that's frustrating, because yeah, your gut goes, hey, that looks real suspicious, but do you really have the qualification to say what's going to happen in that situation? I don't know. Weird, strange things do happen. So after years of being an InfoWars guy, like I was, and years of...
I don't know about Alex Jones, man. A lot of what he says has come true, though.
Sure,
if you look at it just from an abstract, objective standpoint, let alone, put the host aside, a lot of what he says has happened.
But I'm still
gone off the deep end, man. In my opinion.
No, I'm still a big fan of his work in a lot of ways and everything like that. I just don't listen to the show much anymore. I'm sure a lot of people still get a lot out of it, but the point is, after being an InfoWars guy for a really long time, you get this bullheaded attitude about, like, no, anybody who's not willing to look at this and see this is just part of the cover-up, or a sheep that's just going to go along with the concentration camps and blah, and you get this really fucking intense view of it that's not realistic either. So you gotta pull back and go, okay, do we really know any of the, what do we really know? Well, here's something I really know, though. One thing that I just can't buy in a million years is they find the passport of one of the guys flying the plane. They find his passport.
It was hurled clear.
If you look at how those planes went up when they hit that building, there's no way anything is. And not only that, but where are the recorders? The cockpit voice recorders and the flight data recorders. None of those were recovered from any of those aircraft.
Is that true?
Now, those are designed to be indestructible, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't see. That's another thing that I don't know. I mean, if a fire is hot enough to melt steel, supposedly,
But see, jet fuel doesn't burn hot enough to melt steel. That's another problem with the whole story. If you look at it, those fires were very inefficient, because there just wasn't enough oxygen. That's why there was so much black smoke. But one thing that they pointed out, and a couple of these things I've seen, is that even under ideal conditions, jet fuel isn't hot enough to melt steel.
Yeah, I wish I could say that I knew that for sure. Is that true, Andrea?
I'm sorry, I was researching the black boxes. What was that?
Huh? What were you saying? Sorry.
As far as the black boxes go, the official story says that all 4 were destroyed.
Oh, okay. So that's the official story.
My point is that these are designed to withstand literally thousands of Gs of impact. They're designed to survive a crash. That's their whole point of existence.
And most of the time they do.
Boxes that they have not recovered. And in all these crashes that they've had all over the world, they're still able to find the boxes.
Yeah.
But not in this case. Why?
That is some great listening. You pull up the black box recordings once in a while. Some nice relaxing, listening when you wind down after a day's work.
Yes, I love to put it on while I'm in the restroom.
Yeah, so. God, those guys are fucking just
take a nice dump while you're listening to some emergency calls.
Yeah, those guys just have balls of steel though. They're just like those flight recordings of right to the last second. They're just going, all right, we're gonna try this. Where that's failing. We're at 5,000 feet. Okay. This is the tower. Why don't you try to engage the? Okay, we're gonna try to. Nope. Okay, we're dead. Like they're just They're just completely cool to the end. But so anyways, there's a lot of stuff about 9/11 that I mean, believe me, I think it would be incredibly unlikely and incredibly crazy if it wasn't a staged event and a cover up at least some level. So I'm totally. I mean, I know that it was. I mean, I'm just trying to be objective, but the things that really stand out to me were the passport, the media coverage. Whenever there's an event covered in the media and the entire media uses the same code words and buzzwords for everything, they've been coached ahead of time and they've got a narrative. Things like that. The the inconsistencies of a lot of the stories that that happened with the phone calls that were made from the plane and all kind. I don't know, just every weird inconsistency just adds to the general muck of the whole thing. That just it really can't have been the mainstream, the conventional story. It just can't have been.
No, it's just not possible.
I think it's pretty impossible. You have to just look at everything in the general way that it just stinks. The investigation and the way they just railroaded this investigation through, and everyone on that committee will admit that they did absolutely not do enough research. They didn't do enough interviews, and even the people that did want to do a good job were suppressed in one way or another through whether it was just people screwing with them or intimidation or whatever it was. There's just too much that stinks about it.
Yeah, man. Did you ever see the Harley guy? We've talked about that on the show before. I'm gonna pull that up. Do you know the clip I'm talking about?
I'm not sure. What?
The Harley guy. It's one of the. I don't know too much about it. I only found out about it a couple of years ago. But it's one of the leading evidence for the conspiracy, so-called, against 9/11.
No, it's not.
It's popular.
Well, it's just a clip. All right, what it is a clip that shows how they stage things in the media and how they basically plant ideas for a mainstream narrative. So it's this guy comes up and he is supposedly really. Oops, let's let that play for a second. Oh shit! You know what? You're gonna have to pull it up.
Okay.
Will you pull it up?
Yes.
Sorry. We had some equipment troubles today. We're just getting this figured out. Andrea's gonna pull it up. We'll play it for you. But it's a clip of a guy who is supposedly was at the scene, was a couple blocks away, saw the buildings collapse and everything. And it's basically how they started getting the story out in the mainstream media, that the buildings collapsed due to the heat and the steel melting. He comes up on the scene, this guy, basically to explain what happens. And once we play it, you'll see exactly how obviously staged it is. But that's one of the things that really stands out to me. Just find it, dude.
I just want to know it's the right one. Some of these are.
I can't see over there.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's called the Harley guy clip. It's very extremely easy to find. Let me know when it's ready. All right, so anyways, it's a good example of how they put these things out early, and it's an unqualified guy. But if he's on TV, the human mind goes, "Oh, he must know what he's talking about here." Check this out.
We want to bring in Mark Walsh, who's a freelancer for Fox. You live just a few blocks away and witnessed.
Dude, I live on the 43rd floor of a building, which is 5.
So this guy comes up. It's called the Harley guy because he's got all fresh new Harley gear on. Not a speck of dust on him, right? He's got a brand new Harley t-shirt
shiny
and stuff.
And new.
All right, go ahead, play it.
All right.
5 blocks from the World Trade Center itself. I witnessed the entire thing from beginning to end.
People talk about how it looked like a movie. I know when I came walking down here early this morning and saw both towers on fire and people on every street corner, it was like a movie. But you watched the planes hit the towers.
I was watching with my roommate. It was approximately several minutes after the first plane had hit. I saw this plane come out of nowhere and just ream right into the side of the Twin Tower, exploding through the other side. And
I like how first he sounds the first thing he says that sounds unnatural is approximately several.
Yeah.
It was approximately several minutes after. It sounds made up already. That's like a thing you say when you just got caught doing something and you're nervous. You're like, your girlfriend's like we're, like how many drinks did you have at the bar after work? Like, I don't know, approximately several. Like, yeah. Back it up a second. Then he gets the story out there, right? Did we already get past it? Because I was just thinking about approximately several. Back it up a few seconds and let's hear him tell everyone why the buildings collapsed again.
Approximately several minutes after the first plane had hit, I saw this plane come out of nowhere and just ream right into the side of the Twin Tower, exploding through the other side. And then I witnessed both towers collapse, one first and then the second, mostly due to structural failure because the fire was just too intense.
Okay, so does that?
So he's a qualified structural engineer, is he?
Right. We always laugh our asses off when we play this clip because it's so absurd that they try to pass that off as real. First one, then the other, mostly due to structural damage because the fire was just too intense. It's like,
what it is, absolutely.
I mean,
if you remember, I don't. Jesus, you had to be pretty young in 9/11.
I was about 16, yeah.
Oh yeah, old enough to remember then. So you remember it wasn't even an hour and a half, 2 hours after it happened that they've got a suspect already. Well, we think this is Osama bin Laden.
I remember.
Like, how the hell did you do that? You know?
I remember that even before it happened, there were a couple of history teachers at our school.
These new Nature Valley Nut Crisp bars are packed with nuts.
God damn it! Sorry.
I thought that was me.
That was you. I had to turn it down. Yeah, try not to let those commercials play over there. Sorry, but
whoops.
I remember there were a couple of like really politically savvy guys that worked at my high school that had told their classes even before that it's pretty likely that there'll be a terrorist attack by Osama bin Laden or something like that. There was like already word on the street, like Osama bin Laden's been threatening to do stuff. People that were really in the know back then, which it wasn't like it is now, obviously. There wasn't social networking to get the word out about things. There were just guys that did research, and people that knew what they were talking about back then were already predicting something like that would happen. Yeah, then they did have the suspect. It was like the next day. It was like, I remember it was like, it's not official for a few weeks, but then it was, well,
we're pretty sure it was this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just so soon, and they were so sure. They'd already done their prosecution and had all their evidence, and, well, we're just going to give them a trial by media,
Yeah, and I mean, it was also another thing that a lot of people predicted, hey, if the young Bush gets in office, we're going to be back at war in the Middle East in no time,
God. Well, you've also got these idiots now that are burning people alive, which is pretty damn sick for a religion of peace.
Yeah, a religion of peace.
Yeah.
I don't know that they ever claimed to be a religion of peace.
Who? Sorry, I had to get up there.
ISIS.
I'm not saying ISIS necessarily.
Oh, you said burning people alive.
Religion of peace, we love everybody. Well, great. Then what are you burning people for?
I don't know. They're just another CIA creation, though. ISIS is just another spin-off of Al-Qaeda.
They're the new one.
I mean, it's the same thing they do. And whenever word gets out about one of their operations, they change names, move shit around.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way shit works.
Terrorists.
Arnie, we gotta run. We gotta take a quick break, and then we got another guy coming on to talk about some of his new DVD starting next hour. Jonathan Drone, old friend of the show, is coming on. So thank you for the call.
Where can I listen tonight, man? Where can I listen other than on the phone?
Well, find our. You know what? I'll post it on Facebook, and you just find the Sunday Evening Overdose on Facebook, and we post the link constantly.
I've got the Ustream app, so probably on there.
Yeah, or just search the Sunday Evening Overdose on Ustream. We're on Ustream. Yeah,
bro. Well, I'll go over there and check out the rest of the show. Thanks for having me on, man. Have a good night.
Cool, man. We'll talk about 9/11 anytime if you want to keep it in mind. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
All
right, bye. Arnie out in Westmont. I don't think we've talked to him before.
No, I didn't know who that was.
Well, whatever. All right. Thanks for
the
friend. Cool. Thanks for the cool, Arnie. So Jonathan Drone sent us a painting. We gotta tweet that. We gotta tweet that, and we're gonna tweet it. We're gonna Facebook it. we're going to do all kinds of shit with it. So people can check it out. We're gonna hang it up in the studio. We'll figure out how to get how you guys can find him after the break and shit. We're gonna take one quick break here and be back in a couple minutes with Jonathan Drone and his project Drinky Art that he's been on the show with before. But I think he's promoting his other project called Punch It tonight. We'll talk to him in a couple minutes, and we'll be back on the Thursday evening overdose. Thank you very much for tuning in. Stick with us. Whoopsie. How do I get my music back? Hold on. What's happening? Oh, Andrea.
Yes.
You're going to have to do the music because my shit's fucked up.
All right.
We're having a bunch of fucking computer problems here, but I'm getting 2 new computers next week.
Where are you getting 2 new computers?
I got
you got your sources?
Trucks,
Can I have one?
I got trucks things fall off of.
You gotta give me one?
No, I can't get you shit. Sorry.
Why not?
I'm just gonna commit a felony for you.
This is bullshit.
Yeah, no, I don't know why
commit a felony for you.
All our shit is fucked up, dude. Did you pull something up?
No, I don't know what you want.
Fucking anything, maybe? How about that?
Fucking
You know what we play on the show. I mean, try something. Everyone acts helpless. This is a thing when you have
here's
a project.
the thing, though. You're always in charge of the music. You never put me in charge of the music before, so I'm going with Charles Manson. Is that going to be okay with everybody?
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Play Charles Manson. Everyone acts helpless, and then it's like that story. Who's that fucking hen that wanted to make a loaf of bread? Remember that? Who will help me gather the grain? And everybody,
Chicken Licken,
fucking Fox and the Eagle and whoever else were just sitting around playing video games. Hey, I want to make some bread. Nah, we don't want to make no bread, you fucking hen. Get out of here. Okay, but I'm gonna go build a farm to make some, and the process for making the bread was ridiculous, I must say, too.
Yeah.
I can't
there
remember
was no reason for that.
What exactly it was.
She had to like make her own wheat and make her own flour. And
no, and
was like,
I wanted to.
You.
That was the point of the whole thing too. Is like that's why no one's gonna help you make your fucking bread. Is because you're starting by planting seeds. No, I'm not gonna. I'll buy. There's bread at the store. You fucking idiot hen.
What are you doing?
What was that thing? A hen?
Yeah, the little red hen.
Yeah.
Who will help
me? Or a chicken or whatever
it was.
Help
me eat the bread.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Maybe someone will help you make bread if you do it like a normal fucking person. Go get a fucking mix.
Idiot.
Mix it up and put it in the goddamn oven.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sure you'd have a big goddamn bread party going on instead of whining like a little bitch eating bread alone. That's a lesson to all of you out there. What do you got for us? Some
I got some Charles Manson.
Chizzy Mizzy?
One of our faves.
Chizzy Mizzy coming at you.
Chizzy Mizzy.
We'll be back. Chizzle Mizzle. We'll be back in a couple minutes here on a Thursday evening overdose.
Oh, garbage dump.
Hey, pass me that joint.
It's your own buddy.
We don't smoke joints that often anymore.
No, I pre-packed these.
It's all pipes.
Yeah.
Pipes and blunts.
Pipes and blunts.
Pipes and blunts.
It's all anybody does anymore is pipes and blunts. What happened to a good old-fashioned joint?
You know what it is? A joint wastes your weed.
A little bit, yeah.
A blunt?
I feel like a blunt still wastes your weed.
No.
I think.
Are you kidding?
No.
I mean, maybe a little bit more than a pipe, but not like a joint.
I never smoke a blunt. I don't like to.
It's a little harsh.
I don't like to have a tobacco taste or feeling.
If you're hanging out with like fucking 8 people, what are you going to do? You gonna pack 80 bowls or are you going to roll a blunt?
I'd roll a couple of
time.
Joints.
Nah, man.
Well.
Joints go away too quick. We got my old pal, Jonathan Drone, on the line, a.k.a. Drinky Art, also of the band Punch It. Jonathan, are you there?
I'm here.
Hello.
I'm here.
Hello.
Thanks for calling.
Hey.
What's up, dude? Thanks for the painting.
Hey, you're welcome. I'm glad that you got it.
Yeah, I haven't hung it up yet, but we are gonna tweet some pictures of it. So you got that to look forward to.
Woo.
Well, I'm not on
Twitter, so
well, we have
you guys can do.
Very many followers.
I just like to talk about tweeting. I've never been on there. I make Andrea do it.
Yeah.
But I
refuse to do it.
We are gonna tweet that out there though, whatever that will do.
It's gonna get twat.
It's twatted. But we that site sucks. I try because for music, I'm like, oh, I think I'm supposed to be on here, you know, and I go check it out. I'm like, this is who's saying? I don't understand who's saying what. And when in what order it was said, and what, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is just fucking disorienting. It's like a brand new video game that you got to learn a million things about. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
there's no reward.
And it's stupid anyway.
Like anything that you can do on Twitter, you can do on Facebook times 10.
Yeah,
and Facebook is already like a little bit degrading and annoying, you know. So it's whatever. The Twitter thing I couldn't do either. So. Jonathan Drone is calling in about Punch It tonight.
I'm calling in about Punch It, yes. We are going to do a DVD.
A DVD, sir?
A DVD?
Yes, a DVD, sir.
So what are you guys working on? What is it?
Well, Jay, my guitarist, moved up to Seattle. I think I mentioned that in the last interview/broadcast. So I've taken it upon myself to go through, I don't know, close to 200 gigs of media over 20 years and release a DVD.
Oh, wow.
We've done it since we were 12, so that's a lot of shit.
So 20 years of music from Punch It. And
yeah.
Punch It, I've seen you guys, obviously. And you would say that you're centered in Knoxville, right?
Yes.
So I saw you guys in Knoxville. I thought it was a tremendously entertaining show. And obviously I became a fan, and I kept your CD in the car. I've still got it in the glove box and throw it on here and there. But for people who are just finding out about you now, and go check out Punch It. We're on Bandcamp and things like that, I guess, right?
Bandcamp, Facebook.com/MuffinTots69. Seriously? Seriously. MuffinTots69.
MuffinTots69.
That's
okay.
Yeah, that's Punch It's Facebook.
Awesome. And Punch It is, you guys are like, I wouldn't want to take anything away from you by saying it's a comedy act. But what you guys do is hilarious, you know what I mean? And it's largely based in humor, but there's a really kind of weirdo, almost Beefheart kind of like outsidery, you know, aspect to the music that's very, you know, it stands on its own, I guess, too. So I wouldn't want to take away from the musical aspect of it, but it's also really hilarious, you know.
Right. Well, I mean, like that's the whole thing. Like, my guitarist Jay Allen, he and I were raised on music, and I mean, being not really forced into being musicians at an early age, we like kind of wanted this. Like he started guitar when he was like 9, and I started piano when I was 4. And then when we met up in 7th grade, like we knew that we had a connection through music. So we've listened to so much music, whatever, and we do a comedy act, and that's kind of what Punch It is. It is a comedy act, but it's also like making fun of bands that are out nowadays, like name dropping, Nicki Minaj, et cetera, Lady Gaga, Britney Spears, et cetera.
Right.
So we can make fun of those bands, and people go, "Oh, hey, yeah, I totally get what you." No, I don't get what you're doing.
Yeah, you know, the first time I saw you guys, you had kind of like a beer drinking, like monster truck redneck kind of thing going on, and
correct, and it's different every show. Our first show that we did, where you and I played Pilot Light, our first show there, we were Mormons.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even pick up on that. Oh, wait. You're talking about before I saw you. Sorry.
That is correct. Yeah, we were Mormons our first show, and then when you saw us, we were beer drinking redneck good old boys.
Yeah, and it was great. I mean, it was really funny, and it was like performance art sort of with I don't know. I mean, it's a very unique act altogether. I remember being thrown a diaper at one point.
Yeah, and you won a prize.
Yeah, I did. I think we won something really cool, actually. I think we won. That's how I got your CD, actually, I think I won it with that diaper raffle.
I think you won the diaper and then the Pez dispenser.
Could be. I don't know. That was
the door explosion. It's in the DVD. It will be in the DVD.
All right, cool. Sweet. So you guys are putting together a whole DVD that kind of sums up your whole experience. What kind of, I mean, is it a lot of like candid footage, or is it a lot of music videos, or what's the gist of it?
Candid footage, music videos, live footage. We're going to have a separate DVD of all of our albums.
And
except the two songs that made our stomachs hurt because they are really bad, and I don't know where I was mind-wise in that situation.
All right. What was? I want to hear more about those. Can we play those?
No. One's called Triple P, and then another one. I have hated it so much that I've forgotten the name of it. Triple P is yeah, it's pretty bad. I'll give you the first couple lines of lyrics. Come on, make you sweat. By the time you get old, I'm gonna make you forget. So that's all you get.
Come on. What's the next line? Give us one more.
One more, please.
That was not bad. That's pretty good.
Ain't nothing but a blank penis party. so you guys can make up the first P.
All right.
Presidential.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing but a presidential penis party. There you go. I mean, it's not based on fact. It's just where I was at that time. So.
Sure. We've all got regrets. And the internet is makes it pretty rough for a fucking artist trying to hide his retarded points. Are those things out there anywhere?
They will be. You know what? Actually, you made me think of a good idea. I should sell the songs for like high money that I don't want to release.
That you what? Sorry, we're trying to solve shit in the background while you were talking. Did I miss a subtle joke there?
No, like you made me think of like, hey, if you really want to hear these songs, why don't you pay high money for them?
All right, well, that's a thing you have to be famous for.
We'll give you
that's what I'm saying.
You got to be doing.
So I never thought of that until now. So that's great. That's actually a good idea for me.
Once you get the Sunday evening overdose bump, you'll be doing pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
And you'll be selling.
It's daisies from here on out.
Daisies.
Do
you want to play?
Pedophile penis party. I heard on Sunday evening overdose.
What was it?
Pedophile
penis party. God,
wait, was that the first P? I don't know. Was
it? Let's play the. You want to play the song that I sent you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to play a little bit of Punch It so people can kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. This is called "The World Would Be a Better Place with More Theremin." Do you have it pulled up?
Yes.
Well, play it, bitch.
It's playing, bitch.
The world would new shirt with some dolphin language research. Got a new shirt with some dolphin language research. There's an omega symbol around the shaft of my balls. Grandpa's dead.
All right, that's The World Would Be a Better Place with more theremin, a dramatic and really, really impressive composition, I must say.
Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah.
And I generally agree with the overall message of the song, too.
It helps get me pussy, so.
And I've often wondered, too, Sexy Grandma, why did you have to die? And it's one of those lines that everyone can relate to, you know?
Yeah.
That's that kind of writing.
Well, I mean, she was German, and so it was totally like subconscious Eva Braun.
Those old Germans are fucking sexy.
They are. Like, they weren't touched by, anything, not pollution or technology.
So we were talking.
All they had to do was uneven parallel bars and, eat crap.
Yeah. we were talking about old ladies earlier and how shitty they are. I really hate the fact that there's this like innate respect in society for, oh, it's an old lady, you're supposed to be like, they're really a lot of them are pretty fucking awful, And we were talking about especially like the World War II generation, Have you in your life, what have you thought about old women generally, do you think?
My grandma was actually, like, when she was younger, well, she had to be part of the Hitler Youth Corps.
Oh, really?
She rarely talked about that, but that's one thing that stuck out in my mind about my grandmother.
That's what I'm saying. Old ladies are horrible. That's just another example right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
they're a real handful.
Real
handful.
Those Nazis were a real handful.
They were really something.
Yeah. They were a bunch of
one of a kind.
They were a bunch of they were a bunch of roustabouts. Incorrigible, really.
Those ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah.
They were ones that tried to suppress the riffraff.
Yeah, well, hey, somebody had to get...
I'm sorry about that. Riffraff.
Right. Look, let's stop beating around the bush. Somebody had to fucking do it, okay?
It's true. No, Obama's doing it.
With that one? What, Obama's killing Jews?
Yeah.
No, he's just killing people.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, that's what that job...
I'm sure there's some Jews in there.
That's like complaining that the guy at the fast food place gave you fries. I mean, he's the president. He's supposed to kill people.
Yeah, that's true.
He's a great man.
Yeah.
I'd be upset if he wasn't
your, free health insurance yet?
No, you know what's funny? I have never even thought about even thinking about starting to do that.
Yeah, I made an appointment one time and didn't go to it. That's as far as I went.
And I understand.
It's cheaper to pay the penalty.
Oh, no, it's cheaper to lie and say you do have health insurance.
You can just pretty much get, you can pretty much
I've got a good source that says.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the show before. You can pretty much just fucking just get around it pretty easily, right?
Yeah.
How does that work again?
You lie.
Just a lie.
You just say you have it. What are they going to do? Check everybody? Guess what? I already have my money. So, I mean...
For what? What do you mean? Who do you lie to?
The tax return. There's a part on the tax return where it's like, did you have health insurance? And I said, yes. And it said, what kind of insurance? And I said, other. And it said, how long did you have it? And I said, the whole year. And they were like, all right.
Okay.
And then a week later, I had like a lot of money in my bank account. So, the end. They don't care about me. The government thinks I make about $27,000 a year. They don't give a shit about me.
Yeah, well, you are on a recording yourself that goes on internet.
Yeah, they're listening. I'll bet they're listening to us.
You know what?
What's weird is that we've lived without it for so long. Like, why now? That's my thing.
Well, I think it's funny that, like you said, the free health insurance thing, people do really look at it that way. They're like, come on, like we needed a healthcare plan. Like, no, we need medical costs to be reduced. We need to stop buying into a fraudulent pharmaceutical system and a medical industry that like artificially drives prices up. That would be a good way to approach this. Not we need to be forced to have insurance because it's all your non-insurance having asses that drive the prices up.
Yeah.
That's not what's going on. In fact, I paid my hospital bills without insurance. You get a fucking plan. They help you out. If you're poor, it's really not that fucking bad, honestly. I was in the hospital for 6 days. No insurance, no nothing. I tell them, look, here's what I make a year. It's very fucking embarrassing. So here's what
most places work on a sliding scale. I mean,
dude, they totally worked it out. They're like, here, we're gonna, it's gonna be a few grand. Here you go. You can pay it X amount a month. Okay, whatever. You know what? They saved my fucking life in that instance, and I'm like, sure, all right, I'll pay it. Whatever. So I'm sure a lot of people without insurance do the same thing. Yeah, some people blow their hospital bills off. I've blown off other hospital bills, but for you know what I mean? They act like that's the thing driving medical costs up is the non-insurance havers,
Now I
don't see it that way.
I have blown off the shit out of some medical bills in my past. Not recently. A charity paid for my most recent expensive thing.
But so then they'll sell it that way, and then they'll combine it with a human interest thing of like, hey, don't you know so-and-so from Flint, Michigan, was not able to get insurance because of a pre-existing condition, and they had to hang themselves on a bridge in front of their family. It's like, no,
Which again is cheaper than the health insurance.
Exactly. Funerals are fucking expensive too. It's better that you just let the state take care of it. Hang yourself on a public roadway somewhere where they're responsible for cleaning up your body. But my point is, it's like they'll sell it with that point of like, hey, come on, we need to get rid of these laws about, or these policies about pre-existing and whatever. So they'll sell it with a thing that nobody can really think is wrong. But meanwhile, it's really a subversive act to get everybody to buy into their fucking system. Anyways, sorry to go all serious on that, but I just started rambling.
Like that's awesome. Like somebody else thinks about this.
Yeah, well, not too often if I can help it. I mean, that's the other thing about is kind of knowing how bullshit government is gets to be so fucking boring. And after a while, you're just like, all right, I know how it works. I'm done. I just want to live my life. I want to ride my bike, have a good time, I'm so sick of poring over 75 articles a week to prove to other people at parties that that the government is bad.
Wait,
so
what
people
kind of parties do you go to?
They require a code.
I've never been to one of those parties.
You have to rap 3 times on a steel door and then say a code word.
It's down at the docks, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about the knocks mostly for those parties. Then you say a code word to like a big Russian goon, and he lets you in.
Yeah.
You stare him down for no reason because it's a movie in the 80s.
That's how it's done.
So, what else about this, about Punch It? Are you guys playing still, or what's going on?
Well, here's the thing. Like, there's 2 DVD titles that are being kind of tossed around. It's either Punch It is Dead or Customer Cervix.
Ooh, Customer Cervix.
Yeah. Since he's in Seattle, we've always had the dream of emailing tracks back and forth and kind of doing it that way to record.
Oh, so that's right. You guys are across the country from each other now. I forgot.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm kind of like, maybe we should call it quits for now because it's been almost 20 years. Like we've had our ride. You gotta know when to call it quits sometimes.
Yeah, 20 years is a long time by any account.
God damn, that is a long time.
Yeah.
And I mean, like over like 60 albums. I mean, like you kind of have to like tell yourself like, where can you go from this?
Have you guys really made that much? I didn't know you had done that much recording. That's insane.
Yes, sir. Yeah, like we've recorded like every chance we've. Like he flew in maybe when was it? The beginning of November we recorded. And so, like, like anytime we're together, we record.
And
so there's a recording for every instance that we're together.
60 fucking albums. That's quite a few.
That's quite
that
a few.
track that you just played. That's actually 2 albums put together. That track is off of Dolphin Language Research, but it's off the album Chart Attack.
You know what? Where can people like get? Is Bandcamp the place to find most of your stuff, or what?
Bandcamp is the place to find most of our stuff. Like I said, on the DVD, we're going to release just a DVD of like our music jukebox. What that entails is we're going to put every album on the DVD. If people want to buy it, they can go to our Bandcamp. We're going to set up PayPal and all that good stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like, there's not going to be a way for them to download it unless they have, you know, the whole auxiliary cables when they go through that to do.
Sure.
We, you know, like we're releasing everything that we've ever done. DVD.
Well, that's fucking cool. We'll have to plug that. You know what? We gotta be one of those radio shows that has a store to sell like our friends' stuff in.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We gotta get that going on.
I have the teaser on our Facebook. I have the DVD teaser. Like,
oh, do you?
Guys,
all right, we'll
email that to you.
Yeah, we'll post that for you. Yeah, send it to us somehow. We'll post it.
Yeah.
So what else is going on with your? How do people find your painting? It's Drinky Art, or how does it go?
It's Facebook, .com/Drinky Art. I'm actually putting that on hiatus to go back to music, finish this album. I told Jay before I Want to Die, like I want to create a solo album, so that's going to be under my band name Optical 8. So there's just like tons of media going on, and I think 2015 is going to be the year for that.
Yeah, man. Well, we wish you well. Andrea, what did you think about the Theremin song?
I really, really liked that.
Did you? Are you gonna check out more
Punch
It?
Yeah, but I will tell you, I'm a huge fan of the theremin in general. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, it's good. It's an Irish instrument.
Is it really?
Who knew?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Well, that's lovely.
It's a traditional Irish folk instrument.
And before you go, I also want to thank you for posting one of my favorite 9/11 related internet images of all time, which I shared.
I'm glad you got that. I really appreciated seeing that, so I figured I would share.
What is it? I want to know. Describe it.
A little girl finds a fairy, and the fairy's like, "I'll grant you some wishes." And the girl says, "I wish I could talk to ponies." And then a pony comes up and says, "Jet fuel can't melt steel beams, Deborah." It honestly is one of my favorite things ever, and I was thinking about it when you posted it, so thank you for posting that.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. Thank you guys for having me on, and that painting that you got really fast, I'll let you guys go. That was painted upside down, by the way, so that's another fact about the painting that you guys got.
Wait, that it was what? You painted it upside down?
It was painted upside down until I realized, like, holy shit, this looks great this way.
Well, we were kind of doing the same thing with it. We had an argument about which way it went, and I'm going to send you a picture of which way I think it goes.
Send me a picture of which way you think it goes. I'll go ahead and tell you that I titled it on the back frame.
Yeah.
And the title was on the bottom.
The title's on the bottom, so it goes it's horizontal kind of.
Correct. Yeah. You'll see the title of it like on the inside of the frame.
Right. I found the title. What is the title of it again?
I think it was Dreaming of Dents. I think is the one that I sent you.
She's got it right here.
Dreaming of Dents.
Dreaming of Dents.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a cool abstract type of painting, and So now I see it. Awesome. It almost looks like a lacrosse net.
There's another fact about that.
What?
Of the painting, like that it was painted upside down.
And did you say there's another fact about it?
No, I said that's the fact about that.
Oh,
that is, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm smoking a lot of weed. I'm an idiot.
Hey, it's okay. I'm drinking, like, I don't know, 7 Smith & Forges, so I'm okay.
What are you drinking?
Smith & Forge.
Smith & Forge. What is
Smith
that?
Smith & Forge. Hard cider.
Hard
made
cider.
Strong.
Okay.
It's a fine tradition of making things strong.
No, you have different liquors down there. There's completely different stuff
different
going
accents as well.
Yes, it is. But it always freaks me out when I'm in another state and you don't know what the cheap liquor is, and you go up there and it's like Mountain Sunshine. You're like, what the fuck is this? I don't have this. It's like $7 a fifth. Like, I don't know. I think I'll take the Old Granddad. I think is that in Tennessee and Kentucky, right? There's the Old Granddad is like one of the cheap whiskeys.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, no, that's one of the worst things about being out of town is like, what liquor do I fucking buy? What did they have here? What the hell is this fucking place? So yeah, man. All right, well, good to talk to you. And I gotta get down to Knoxville again this summer. It's one of my favorite places. One of my absolute favorite cities to walk around and fuck around in. So sorry.
Again, thank you guys for having me. Go get high, eat pizza, do some stuff.
All right, dude. We'll talk to you soon, and good luck. Okay. Good luck with the DVD. Come back and let us know when you got it together.
Will do. I will totally let you know. Thanks, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, there he goes.
That was nice.
Old J Drone.
Old J Drone.
Old J Drone. Drink your art and punch it. He's funny as hell too, and I'm like too stiff today. I wish we could have loosened it up with him a little more. We'll get him back on the show again.
Yeah.
He's a really funny dude, and I feel like I'm not even like keeping up with him. He tried a few jokes and I was just like, what? Good. You're cool.
Me have radio.
You do music. This is my show. I love to make a show.
Okay. What else we got?
I don't know.
All right. I like that.
Go ahead and grab something.
Go ahead, grab something.
How long you gotta wait? You don't know what you're doing?
I have no idea.
We're making a show.
Have we ever done a show before? Here's a thing that will break your brain, supposedly. You want to talk about that?
I bet it won't. Every time they say something's gonna break the internet, no, I check later and the whole thing is still going. God, the internet's so irritating. Remember when the internet wasn't totally cheesy? And you would get away from TV to go to the internet? And
and there would be actual weird stuff.
Before, Facebook and shit like this is convenient, but you used to go to a forum. Do you remember a forum?
I do remember a forum.
And shit was honest in a forum.
Yeah.
Nobody ever got fucking, nobody ever got kicked out of a forum.
No way.
Unless somebody was a real asshole. But, most of the time,
even then,
anything went in a forum.
A forum.
Forums are good. I still go to forums sometimes. But all this bullshit, it's convenient, but it sucks now. And there's all these annoying, you got to weed through 40% of your shit is some annoying advertising kind of bullshit,
Yeah.
You'll never believe this thing that happened. And at 2:31, I dropped my coffee. At 5, I picked it up and put it in my ass. And it's just these weird headlines, just
clickbait.
It sucks.
Yeah.
And the internet's annoying now. I liked it better when you had to type a whole URL that somebody wrote down for you.
Yeah.
Then you went to a forum. And you just talk to people in a forum. And you posted things like a man.
It was just a page that was a folder of folders.
And sometimes you would post people, I was never this advanced at that point, but other people, they'd go to the library and they'd make a copy and they'd scan something. And then you'd see it in the forum.
Whoa.
Yeah. I miss that. That's when the internet was good, I think.
Yeah, I think I might be a little too young even for that good of internet.
Yeah. Well, I was pretty young, too. I was like 14, 15, 16, 17 when I'm talking about this kind of,
yeah.
When it was you just had, well, even after that, actually, you just had a site, and it was
a
just
forum.
Endless. A thread, just
yeah,
endless
just
threads.
Forever.
Like, here, whatever topic, and blah, 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 and, you'd find a good site like the Black Vault, and it would just go on forever.
We used to have a family member that would always send us religious magazines, as you'll recall, incredibly religious magazines, which was not the type of household we grew up in. But one time I got like a special login into this.
No, I know, you're right. Our parents were totally against magazines.
Yeah. I mean, magazines were not usually welcome. So, anywho.
It was against their religion.
I got a login to this religious website through this magazine that I was sent, and I got on there and I just started picking fights with everybody about everything.
Good.
And talking about how a bunch of people were talking about how the devil was making people smoke weed, and I just
Hold on a second. Did you hear them out?
Oh yeah.
Did you?
I read maybe
because that's the kind of conversation I'd love to have. I'd love to have somebody on the show. This is the kind of thing we need to start doing. I want to have somebody on the show that really thinks that the devil makes people smoke weed.
Yeah.
I'd talk about that for 5 hours.
I was probably 14 when I was doing this, and I remember it was a website for teens, so they're like everyone was pretty stupid. Ooh.
Hey.
Nobody could like.
You still got that URL there? Hey, hey, I like teens.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I want to fuck a teen.
All right.
Sorry.
But
anyways,
they were all dumb, so nobody could like form a reasonable argument, and everybody was just like, oh, I would get on there and be like, you're stupid, I smoke weed and I don't even think the devil is a thing. And they were all like, oh, I'm gonna pray for you.
I'm a teenage kid and I'm here to blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tippity tap 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 at you. I'm 16, getcha.
Meow.
Yeah.
Click, 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 clack.
Being when I think it could happen at any age. For you, you were probably a teenager. I was much later because I didn't even have internet till I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And not that it wasn't around. I just didn't have it.
Yeah.
It was. I could have had it when I was 18 easily. You know, just would have been $30 a month probably or some shit. But no, I didn't get it till I was like 24, 25 or some shit. And immediately, you do get into that mode of like, I think my voice really will matter here. And
I could change some minds.
If I really just type this exactly right, people will read this and they'll process it reasonably. And this will be a productive argument. And then it's like, why is no one, they just must not be reading the things that I'm saying proper. They're just not getting it. Let me just reassert this again and again. Well, hey, tippity tap tap choo, tap 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 tap.
Let me get my thesaurus.
And it's a horrible, shitty thing. But a lot of people, I think, when they're new to like the social networking, go through that period where it's just, God, preach time.
Yeah.
I definitely did it.
I have phases every once in a while where I just like can't help but get sucked in.
You can't.
Now,
no one cares.
I do know people.
They're just waiting for their turn to do theirs. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit. You do, and then post your link to an article. Just imright.com. Here you go.
Here's a link to an article I wrote about this.
Yeah.
I do know people who like follow their local politicians just so that they can comment on every single post. Things like "fuck you," "you suck,"
No, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So that kind of stuff I fully support. Other than that, I don't think that even reading comments on the internet anymore is worth it.
I am into just like funny things now. That's all I give a shit about. No one's gonna listen to you on Facebook about whatever the thing that you think is important. You know, once in a while you could. But see, if you're constantly posting things about, hey, the Federal Reserve and the New World Order and this and that, which is shit I really think about and believe. But if you're constantly posting it, it just gets lost in this sea of things that people are avoiding, you know?
Yeah.
But if you once in a while take a thing and go, hey, this is really important, maybe, I don't know, maybe people will connect with it. But for the most part, it's, I don't know, man. It's not like a forum.
No. Man, do we miss forums?
I still go to them.
Yeah?
Yes.
I don't.
If you need to do real
foruming,
internet-style research, if you're going to make a YouTube video exposing something, say, like me and the Earthling used to do, which we want to get back into doing, is doing some investigative journalism, you go to forums. That's where it goes down. To this day, it's going down in forums.
In forums.
If you want to find out about great white sharks, I mean, not great white sharks. Well, you'll see why I made that mistake. Sharks in the Great Lakes.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay? All right. If you want to find out about sharks in the Great Lakes, and that the Lake Michigan tourism bureaus, the various tourism bureaus around the lake there, are trying to keep it under wraps that there's fucking sharks in the lake. They don't want anyone to know. You go to forums. That's where I find out about that.
Forums.
Do you want to talk about sharks in the Great Lakes for a minute?
Yeah.
We'll need to take a break to like kind of prepare something on it. But
we can talk about that.
You got a few minutes?
Yeah.
I don't want to go too late, but
no,
we'll go a little bit over time.
I still have to go to the grocery store.
Do you?
Yeah. I gotta get waffle mix.
Man, I bet there's some old ladies at the grocery store slowly picking things out and like scrutinizing.
No way.
This is the whole horrible thing. Another horrible thing about old ladies. To save like 20 cents, they'll accept a drastic reduction in quality.
Yeah.
in a product.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no consideration of quality of living.
No.
It's just, well,
money.
Come on, it's a bigger can for 20 cents. It's like, those are disgusting. And it's
they have
more.
6 times the sodium.
I'm a dumb old lady. I bring my own cart. I bring my own awkwardly tall cart that I walk around with bags hanging all off of it, keys and little fucking, little ropes and little fucking those what are those little scrunchy, spongy things?
Yeah,
that they
I don't know
have,
what they're called.
Whatever those things are,
scrunchy.
You know what I'm talking
things,
about? Yeah, that and
with a little clip on them.
I carry the key to my poodle's collar on this little springy rubber thing, because I'm a dumb fucking old cunt. That's what it's like at the grocery store.
Not in the middle of the night. That's why I do my grocery shopping in the middle of the night.
Okay, so we're gonna come back. What did I say we were gonna talk about? Sharks in the Great Lakes.
Sharks in the Great Lakes.
Well, my point is more about forums, I think. But
yeah.
We'll come back and do a few more minutes. And whoever is new to the show, I forgot to give the phone number out all night. 630-599 RUBS. 630-599 RUBS. 630-599 RUBS. Call us up. Whatever you want to fucking do.
Find us on Facebook. Facebook.com/Sunday Evening Overdose. We post links to everything we talk about pretty much.
Back in a minute. Yeah. Back here on the Thursday Evening Overdose.
We back.
Back in February of '15.
Old 20-15, they'll say.
By the time a serious number of people listen to this, if we ever get successful, how many years from now will it be?
40.
40, you think it'll take us?
Yeah.
God damn, we should give up now.
Never.
Check this out.
Okay.
All right, Lawrence, what do you have?
Gazebo News reporting from the North Shore. Anybody who lives near Lake Michigan, this is a beautiful view, isn't it? You say, what could possibly be wrong? Look what one local photographer...
What is happening?
Something just... Look at what just happened on the screen. We're playing this video, and this black bar popped up that just says invalid content segment. Invalid content segment. Holy shit. We were just doing really good there, too.
Yeah, that was nice. Fuck.
Are you kidding me? Holy fucking Christ. How slick was that I was just like, check this out, and then I had a news segment about the topic we wanted to talk about.
Yeah. Son of a bitching
You're
internet.
You're gonna have to take this over. We're talking about sharks in fresh water. And it's specifically Lake Michigan, I think.
Specifically Lake Michigan, yeah. I don't have a video queued up for it.
No, I know that. Don't worry about that. I'll find something else. But
well, there is some interesting information related to it. Let's see. Although there is no actual physical proof, supposedly, there's a report...
Shh. No, that's wrong. There is.
Well, there is a shark.
Just was nothing to back it up.
There is now, but at the time in 1955, I was going to say in 1955.
But first of all, shut up. There's a report. I'm not even looking. Look,
do you want me to talk about this?
You're seeing. I'm not even looking this up. I know what you're going to say because I know this topic very well.
Okay.
In 1955, there aren't any media reports to back this up, but there's a report on the National Shark Attack Database. About a guy getting his leg bitten off while swimming in Lake Michigan right outside Chicago in 1955.
Yes.
I knew that because I'm well-versed in freshwater sharks because I'm very worried about them because I apparently don't have a lot to worry about, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I'm very worried about this. And, I can't I am last time I was in Lake Michigan, I was with a few people. We're up there, up in in the state of Michigan, where you can actually go in the water and it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
We're up there and I'm swimming out by the buoy way the fuck out there. And then I just realized there's fucking sharks in here and I got terrified and had to swim. And I talk about this a lot when I'm at the beach with people. I'm usually pretty okay as long as I'm the closest one to shore.
Yeah.
If I'm in a group of people, and people will make fun of me because I'm totally conscious of it, and other people will notice. I'll always be the closest one to shore, always. Because if there's something coming in from the deep,
it's gonna get someone else first.
Getting you. I'm not. Yeah. No.
All right.
Fuck that.
I like that.
And if it has to go this far, I'll be the only one out of the water.
Yeah.
I don't care. If you guys all go ankle deep, fine. Then I'm not going in. That's how it is. But no, I'm terrified of fucking freshwater sharks. So I've researched it a lot. That 1955 thing is weird because it's on the database and it was recorded at the time by I forget. It's reported by either universities or marine biologists or whoever.
Yeah, it doesn't say here. But also there were witnesses. There were people who saw it too.
Right.
So they're like witness accounts.
No, there's all kinds of stuff that has happened. There were sharks caught in Alton, Illinois, I think.
Let's see, Waukegan,
really? Wow.
Yeah, let's see.
Damn.
In 1979, a charter boat off Waukegan caught 2 bull sharks, both bit on a coho salmon.
I mean, that's fully in the Midwest. That's so far from the ocean.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous. You're not safe anywhere.
Again in 1979, some fishermen found the corpse of a fish off the shore of Lake Michigan, and then they figured out that it was a shark, and they took it to the museum. It just says the museum in Chicago, probably the Museum of Science and Industry.
No,
or
it's
the Field Museum.
The Field Museum.
Field
That's
Museum,
who gets all that shit, yeah.
And then they found it to be the remains of a shark over 5 feet long. And that was in Lake Michigan that they caught it.
Yeah.
Now, people try to say that they're all bull sharks that they find. And people try to say that bull sharks can't live where it's so cold. They say that it's too cold in Lake Michigan. But
aren't bull sharks I always forget if it's tiger sharks or bull sharks that it must be bull sharks, I guess.
They do both.
Oh, there's both in freshwater.
No. The bull sharks do both waters. I don't know about tiger sharks.
Okay, so it's bull sharks. Then so there's been hundreds of them. They're all over the place.
And they've found them as far north as Alaska too, which is why it totally makes sense that they would be able to survive in Lake Michigan if they can survive that far north.
Yeah, and I'll acknowledge that it's probably rare, but
they're there.
And I'm looking for it now, and I can't find it. But speaking of forums, like we were talking about before, I swear to God, I have read in a fishing and tourism or whatever kind of bureau, fishing and wildlife or some kind of forum for the Great Lakes. A couple of times I've read a bunch of people posting about, hey, there's actual sharks spawning off the coast of Indiana, and we think that there's a problem,
That's crazy.
Yeah, and we think that their numbers are going to grow because there's nothing stopping, if they can spawn, if they evolve to spawn and live full lifespans in fresh water.
Yeah.
They're unstoppable. There's nothing to even compete. There's nothing,
and why wouldn't they evolve that way, Well, they're already halfway there.
I read as a kid, and this is before the internet when everyone was retarded, but I did read in a book from the retarded library when I was a kid. I do remember reading that there were some marine biologists that theorize that there could be sharks that slowly, as waters turned brackish in when the United States was an ocean, most of it, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of it,
right?
And the Midwest, definitely Illinois was an ocean during whatever fucking geological period, whatever
before.
That was, but the sharks were around then, and as the waters receded and went from ocean to brackish to freshwater, it's conceivable that small numbers of sharks stayed around in undetectable numbers.
Yeah.
That evolved to be freshwater. That's what I read.
Sense.
But that's what I read, like I said.
When everyone was dumb.
In a retarded library. And that's when a library was just whoever was in charge of the books would update them once every 30 years. Some guy. Yeah. That's who you had.
Yeah.
Some guy.
So
I don't know.
Give you some books.
I don't know what the merit of that is, but it's interesting to think about.
Yeah, it's super interesting to think about. It's weird. You never think that you would have a lake shark.
There's sharks.
There he is.
They are.
Yeah.
There's sharks there.
Yeah, I need another reason to not want to go on Lake Michigan, though.
Dude, it's first of all, it's just gross.
It's just, it's really gross.
It's just gross. Let's be honest. It's just a gross lake.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
It's just terrible.
It's not that good.
Yeah, and almost all of the beaches in Chicago at least have broken glass and nails.
You have to go up north and it's nice.
Yeah.
Once you get up north, it's blue water.
Yeah.
Here it's brown.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, it's
it's no good.
You go up north in Michigan, it's nice. It's blue. There's but see the sharks, man, that's where there's gonna they're
gonna be.
The sharks are gonna be.
I guess the gross water is safer.
There's been shark I don't know if you can look this up.
Sense?
Look up Alton, Illinois. That one was fascinating. There were sharks.
1937.
Is that what it was? 1937? Yeah. And then there was another one in Illinois in 1915, I think, if I remember right. And there was some in Georgia. They go all over the place. But there was a guy eaten by a shark. Look this up. There was a guy eaten by a shark in New York City. In New York. In the East River, I think. Is that right? I can't remember. I'm just going off memory, and you're going to look this up for us. But there was a tale of a guy who was eaten alive. Now, you're going back to this. You're going to want to go back to the 1600s here.
1878.
No.
For the East River.
There was one before that, I think. Whatever. What was the 1878 one?
I am pulling it up.
I remember it being 400 years ago. That's what I remember. Anyways.
It says it was an 8-foot shark.
That was what?
Oh, what breed? It doesn't.
No. What was the story? An 8-foot shark did what?
I just have a fact sheet here. Hold on.
All right. Well, no.
I'll get the whole story.
No. What did you look up? There was a guy eaten by a shark.
I looked up East River shark attack.
No. Just look up New York City shark attack. And it was a long time ago. I could have looked it up too, I guess. But
yeah, you ding-a-ling.
But there's been a lot of shark attacks in fresh water. But we might have to go back about 400 years to find one.
Bummer.
But I am fucking terrified of it.
They happen. That's all that matters.
Why don't you talk? I'll look it up.
Well, I have always been afraid of sharks. And I never really thought about the fact that the polluted water would help protect me from the sharks. But I'm also not a very good swimmer. So I have a hard time going out into the water any deeper than I can comfortably stand without getting knocked around by the waves. And even with that, I usually end up getting knocked around by the waves. The only time I ever went in the ocean, it was at the dirtiest fucking beach I've ever been to in my entire life. No, I'm sorry. The last time I went in the ocean, I should say. It was at a really dirty beach in Texas. And it was the most polluted ass thing. I got super sick. And I stayed sick for about 2 weeks after that. And I had to fly home on a plane sick from this fucking dirty ass water at Galveston. But now I feel a little bit comforted by the fact that there were probably no sharks in that water. I had never considered that before. But now I have to fucking worry about them in Chicago, and I don't appreciate that very much.
Wait a second. I'm trying to find this fucking... It was the Hudson River.
Oh.
That's what it was. But let's see, before 1900, all right. 1642. Here we go. Anthony Van Corlear. Here you go. The victim was presumably killed and eaten by a shark on a stormy evening while attempting to swim across the Hudson River at the Spoontonduiville Riverdale. This is what Spoontonduiville Riverdale. It's Spuytenduyville. Spoontonduiville. All right, he was trying to swim across the river in New York City. A witness to Van Corlear's death stated that the devil, in the shape of a giant fish, swam up and proceeded to seize the sturdy Anthony by the leg and drag him beneath the waves. This may be the earliest recorded shark attack in the New World. I love that in 1642, it was the devil in the shape of a fish.
Yeah.
It wasn't a shark.
No.
Even though these were like
shark would do
people
that.
who like crossed the ocean to get here. Like it had to be the devil in the shape of a fish. No fish would eat a man.
No.
That was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Anthony Van Corlear, in 1642 got eaten in the Hudson River. God damn.
And
the guy I read about, last time I looked into this, I was reading he was it was something like he was at a party. They were at a big like party or something, and he wanted to go home, and the bridge was like too far to walk. You know, they had all been drinking.
Yeah.
And he goes, fuck it, I'm gonna swim across the river. Just chomp.
Eaten by a shark.
Bye-bye.
The end.
Goodbye, Anthony.
Yeah, that's terrible. That like makes my throat close up.
Yeah, that was awful. Uh-oh. Guess who?
Hello?
Hello?
My Sunday evening overdose?
Hello?
Yeah.
Thursday evening overdose. Today's Thursday.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What?
Why are you guys always so scared of sharks?
Because
sharks are fucking scary.
Terrifying monsters. And
okay.
What?
I'm just going to say this. I'm going to premise everything with this. You are apparently twice as likely to get killed by getting toppled by a Coke machine than you are of getting killed by a shark.
My ex-girlfriend was a real Coke machine, if you know what I mean.
Not bad. Solid. You're loosening up now.
So, yeah, you know what though? Here's the thing. I understand that, but I feel like that if you don't tip and rock a Coke machine, you're never gonna get killed by one ever. So
that's true.
So
if you don't buy a Coke, you're not gonna if you don't buy a Coke from a Coke machine, you're probably not gonna get killed by one.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. You don't have to walk up to a shark and grab it by the nose and shake it around for it to attack you.
Yeah.
Like, it just comes up out of the darkness and eats flesh off your body.
Yeah.
Sort of. But the bull shark, like, there's plenty of sharks that just are non-aggressive creatures that are just swimming around like every other thing.
And when was the last time a shark gave you a fucking soda or anything to drink for that matter?
Dicks.
Well, never.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, and all you got to do to avoid sharks is not go in the ocean. There's no reason to go in the ocean. I don't know why anyone does, and I don't know why anyone goes in freshwater anymore now. Finding out what
I don't know about the whole freshwater sharks correlation. I can agree with you that saltwater is kind of a miserable thing. It's kind of gross, leaves you with a salty taste in your mouth. You'd rather just go in a pool if you can.
That's terrible.
Unless you can't touch the bottom, and then the miccos are all fucked.
But no, I even get worried. I get worried. No, I'm a good swimmer. I'm an excellent swimmer. I just get I get really worried, even in a swimming pool. Sometimes, well, listen. Sometimes
I buy it.
Sometimes I'm in a swimming pool at night. And
that's kind of scary.
And I actually get worried there'll be a shark in there.
Yeah, I get more scared of like a monster.
A little bit. I know that there won't be.
Let's get into that.
But
really?
Yes, I know because I know that there won't be. But in the back,
so we might just slip a shark in.
Yes, exactly. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, God, yeah. What if somebody runs up and slips a shark in? But I know that it's irrational, but it's one of those fears that's like, it's not real. It's not a real danger, but your mind just goes like, I don't like not being able to see what's under me. You know, I don't like the deep. I don't like water that I can't see.
It feels like there's a shark there.
Yeah. There must be.
What the fuck just touched my foot?
What's the manatee? What if somebody fucking slips a manatee in? They're not gonna fuck you up. They're gonna fucking.
They probably will.
Sleep.
Do you have any
manatees?
Do you have any idea how fucking terrified I would be if I was in a swimming pool and I saw a manatee? I'd be out of that motherfucker immediately.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna fucking go to the nearest kelp dealer and fucking see if you can feed it. I can imagine that, but if you're in a fucking swimming pool, I'm not sure I'd be terrified. I'd be more interested. It'd be a weird thing, right? You're fucking in a pool, your friend slips a fucking manatee in there, and you're like, hey, I better get out of here. But that's what I just don't understand is I can appreciate dirty water, if you got like that thing, and of course, you know, every fucking Lake Michigan is kind of disgusting. The Indiana side is so bad.
Oh, it's gross. Sure. Indiana sucks at having a lake.
Yeah,
they really do.
You gotta stay out of that shit.
You gotta get out of there.
But
stay far away.
Lake Michigan, not so bad. The sharks in Lake Michigan, there's not like, I mean, you're talking about how many people go in and how many people come out and how many people are actually, what you guys are talking about is being scared of a shark that washes up on shore, and then you're like, oh shit, there's sharks in here.
Right.
Dude, a barracuda in the ocean is way more dangerous than the average shark, because they'll come up and fuck you up.
So a shark is...
Be scared of barracudas.
Yeah, I am scared of barracudas. Did I ever say I wasn't?
I'm scared of...
I'm scared of barracudas.
You're scared of barracudas. I'm scared of bear penises, too. Get it? Barracudas.
Cooters.
Not too bad.
Well, thanks.
I'm scared of most things that dwell underwater. I don't want them to touch me.
I can't touch you. What are you going to touch under there that's not horrible?
Yeah.
Name me one thing you can touch underwater that's not disgusting or dangerous.
Lots of stuff.
Like what?
Mud is great.
Mud?
Mud is, mud.
Mud?
When you like.
I'll give it to you.
But there's stuff in the mud.
That's the thing. Mud would be fine if there wasn't things in the mud.
Yeah. Who knows what's in there?
So let's go there. Let's talk about this because I think this is important to think about.
Okay.
If you guys want to be scared of every fucking thing, like do your fucking research on restaurants, do your shit on fucking public service food, do your shit on bathrooms in general, and you'll find out that fucking if you really, really, you're gonna end up being like that whole. I don't know if you. I'm sure you guys know about The Simpsons and Mr. Burns like being scared, like at that point where he's like scared of all the germs and shit. Mr. Burns on The Simpsons.
Mr. Who? On the Watsons?
Mr. Burns. Oh shit. Burns. It's not that funny.
Mr. Burns.
You know what I'm talking about? Like. Everything you touch when you're in public is covered. Like you guys should be really. I think I'm more scared of fucking babies than I am fucking sharks. That's for sure. Because babies are disgusting.
Yeah.
They fucking touch their own poop. They fucking put it in their nose, and then they want to kiss you with it.
I agree with that.
I'll put it in your nose.
Right?
I said I'll put it in your nose. Yeah.
Poop in your nose?
I'll put it in your nose, yeah.
Well, I'm saying, you guys know what I'm talking about. Babies are disgusting. That's how, like, disease is spread. Holy shit. You hang out in fucking all sorts of cemeteries and fucking weird shit. I don't know where the fact checker fucking hangs her fucking hat, but I do know that, like, dogs are kind of disgusting because they kind of, like, lick their own balls and then they fucking want to kiss you in the face. And, I mean, that's gross. There are lots of gross things. The danger factor really is more in babies than it is in sharks. For sure.
Babies are terrible.
Babies?
Yeah,
oh,
babies
yeah,
are
they
pretty
are
terrible.
Fucking terrible.
Baby sharks.
I'm not trying to derail things to babies, but I'm saying,
Imagine
like, we're talking about things that, like, are kind of an irrational thing. Are you guys okay?
What if you got fed to a shitload of baby sharks?
Aw,
that'd be even worse.
Like that.
That'd be even worse than one grown shark eating you.
Yeah,
you just they'd be like getting eaten by those shitty tiny dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Just
right.
Ow! 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 Ow!
Right, exactly.
Say, mister, can we eat your elbow?
It is kind of cute when you're getting nipped by things. Right?
Okay.
But I'm just a shark.
I'm just a little baby shark.
You did do theater, didn't you?
No.
Well, listen. Yeah, that's kind of like every time I hear you guys talking about like every single like Lake Michigan and not wanting to go into bodies of water, like at what point, like do you guys obviously clean yourselves every once in a while in a shower or something like that?
Scary.
There is a little bit of a build-up. Andrea, you're a girl, so you got long hair. It probably clogs up the drains occasionally, and you end up like with a little puddle of water. Are you sketched out about that?
If there were,
never have a puddle of water, you fucking sicko.
if there
yeah, I have a hard time believing that. That's true.
If there were tiny sharks that came out of the shower, I would do nothing.
No.
I would never have water. I mean,
No.
if there were tiny sharks that came out of every faucet of your house, I would die. I would
No
never
way.
have any water.
Not a
Nice.
chance.
So this is the way I think. I want to either convince you guys that swimming in a large body of water is not scary, or that being around any sort of water is a threat of a shark
now
attack.
I'm starting to think I need to get strainers for my faucets to catch tiny sharks. In case they come through, because what if I'm in the shower and like 6,000 tiny sharks come zipping out of there and latch onto my skin?
Oh my God, it could happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then you like start to talk about like, you know how like for years people kind of talk about fucking, you know, like things in water that control you, chlorine, fluorine, all this shit. Like they put, you know, the old hippies used to talk about fucking putting all sorts of acid in water so that fucking everybody would have this great experience. Like, what about sharks on acid?
Little
coming out of
teeny
your
tiny
fucking
ones?
faucet? Yeah, well, tiny ones, big ones, whatever. They grow bigger.
Whatever comes out of the faucet.
What if you could get sharks in the mail? That were like those.
I'm pretty sure you can.
Mail order tripping sharks.
Mail order tripping
I
sharks.
don't know, the tripping part.
Listen,
you got to do that yourself.
Mail order tripping sharks that grow when you add water. They're like those dinosaur, those sponge
they
dinosaurs.
got that part for sure. They got the fucking. You got those little things that you fucking drop in water and grow like 30 times the size. You can get them from the Museum of Science in the street.
We'll be rich.
The fuck are we talking about?
We'll be rich.
What happened to this show?
Sharks.
Well, I think we're done for the night. Steve, thanks for helping us finish the show out there. That was
sorry.
Nice to hear from you, Steve.
We'll talk more about the freshwater sharks because I'm not kidding, dude. This is not
there.
a joke. They're out there.
You guys really need to just settle down a little bit. I'm sure you guys have been smoking plenty of weed to calm yourselves down.
What?
We've been smoking a lot of weed and it's not working. We're still afraid of freshwater sharks.
You guys must be on that fucking bad shit for sure.
Dude, it's not working. I'm still afraid of sharks. And,
I'm afraid of everything.
And
now I don't want to shower anymore. So thank you.
All right. Well, perfect.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
Well,
you're welcome.
It was great to talk to you.
Love you guys. Love your show.
Old pal.
Yeah.
First time caller.
Love your show. First time caller.
Go fuck yourself.
All right.
Love your caller. First time show.
Well, it's been a hell of a night. It's been one hell of a night.
Hell of a.
I want to thank Jonathan Drone of Punch It.
Yeah.
For calling us up and sending us a painting. We are going to hang that bitch up. We're going to tweet it.
We're going to hang it on Twitter.
We're going to hang that shit on some twits. And and we're going to take care of business for old Droney.
Old Droney.
Old Droney.
We going to get done, old Droney.
And thanks to everybody else who tuned in tonight. And Arnie and whoever else called us up and contributed some shit. Steve, everybody else. We will be back on Sunday with the full show, the full crew back in full effect, all live and all for you, all night long. Yeah. Sunday night.
Sunday.
We'll see you then. Good evening.